Welcome to the third video of a series of 6. In this video, we will focus on the crisis of representation, making the personal political, barriers, and examples of how gender affects global governance. The crisis of representation stems from the domination of men in politics, which is seen as a man's world. This begs the question of, where are the women? Frequently, women in politics are on the bottom of the pyramid, for example, secretaries and maybe mayors. Some women may be found scattered throughout the middle as representatives and senators, but at least in the U.S., no woman has ever been at the top. Inequality and other gender stereotyping are likely the causes of this. In the past 50 years, women have become more active in politics by making the personal political. This includes talking about domestic violence, rape, abortion rights, and marriage rights. By fighting for platforms to stand on, women have increasingly gained power, even if only a little bit. Despite some gains, gender inequality is still institutionalized. From a young age, we are taught how boys and girls are supposed to avoid each other's cooties, which creates an early divide. Women are kept out of the man's world of politics by being told the job is too demanding, especially for someone with kids and wifely duties. Religious views and laws can also bar women from becoming politically active. Basically, gender stereotyping of women leads to discriminatory practices that allow the world to stay in the state of dichotomy. One very prominent example of the way gender affects governance is the 2016 U.S. election between Donald Trump and Hillary Clinton. Trump's team used promises of protection and leadership as a world power, whereas Clinton's team used promises of women's and LGBTQ rights. Both candidates drew heavily on aspects of their prescribed genders. One thing that really stuck out in this election was the use of gender both as a platform and as a weapon. Some people voted for Hillary Clinton simply because she's a woman, and others voted against her also simply because she's a woman. The way each group perceived her gender influenced their decision to the point where people either wanted or didn't want her to lead a country simply for aligning with the feminine gender. On a global scale, women only make up to 22.8% of the national parliaments, according to the UN. In a world that's comprised of half women, this is pretty shocking. So what can we do to promote a more egalitarian society? We can restructure the way governments work to a more democratic system. Restructuring is an ultimate goal, but would probably be extremely difficult and take years to accomplish. Maybe even decades. In the short term, we can use quota systems, which require a certain percentage of women and other minorities to be represented. We can normalize feminine participation in politics by encouraging women and other feminized actors to vote and run for public office. We can also mainstream diversity by opening people's minds to new opportunities and telling complete histories. We can encourage future generations to never settle.